Hello, I'm Kimberlie, and welcome to the weekend edition of the Native News Update. It's Friday, March 16th. Many of the stories you hear here can be found at IndianCountryTV.com. And here's the news for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. Senate Democrats are daring Republicans to vote against a bill that would protect women from violence in the latest round of election year battles for female voters. Democrats want to renew the 1994 Violence Against Women Act, which expired last year, and add protections for immigrant, gay, and Native American victims. Republicans who widely supported the law's renewal in the past say they object to some of the additions. The timing of the debate fits neatly into the Democrats' 2012 campaign theme that Republicans aren't standing up for women on contraception, abortion rights, health insurance, and now domestic violence. The bill has 58 co-sponsors, including 5 Republicans. Debate could begin as early as next week. On March 20th, the 6th Annual National Native HIV/AIDS Awareness Day challenges individuals, health providers, and government agencies across the U.S. to raise awareness about the impact of HIV in Native communities. As health departments move forward in implementing the National HIV/AIDS Strategy released in June of 2010, Native American health workers are finding their communities are being left out of local HIV prevention plans. Native American HIV prevention workers say this new direction is troubling for smaller populations like American Indians, Alaska Natives, and Native Hawaiians. To learn more about this initiative, you can check out nnhaad.org. Monique Chappa and Nedra received the Woman of the Year award at the 17th Annual National Indian Women Supporting Each Other Honoring Lunch held on March 6th in Washington, D.C. The luncheon was held during the National Congress of American Indians Executive Council winter session. Monique Chappa is the chairwoman for the Campo Band of Mission Indians of the Kumeyaay Nation. And Nedra Darlin from the Prairie Band Potawatomi Nation and Cherokee Nation is the current director of the Office of Public Affairs at the Department of the Interior. This year's Red Thunder Rolling Motorcycle Ride will take place Saturday, April 28th. The ride will begin at the Fire Rock Casino located east side of Gallup, New Mexico at 11 a.m. and arrive in Albuquerque, New Mexico at the Gathering of Nations Powwow at approximately 1:30 p.m. All bikers from everywhere across the United States are invited to join in this ride. This year, the ride has a new objective, which is to raise funds and publicity for the Navajo Code Talker Museum project.
Nobody knew anything about the Navajo Code Talkers because of its secrecy during the war. And it took 25 years. That's what I enlisted for, to fight. And whatever I was told to do, that's what I'm going to do. Everyone had to be memorized very thoroughly. The 2 words, putting them together, there's about 400 or 500 of them. Our platoon members referred to us as walk-in code, walk-in secret codes. This museum is going to, we envision that it will tell the legacy of all these stories that were untold about the Navajo Code Talkers. Well, I only wanted to fight the Japanese. Everybody said they made a sneak attack on the United States. And to protect my people, my land, my country.
For more information on the ride, you can check out gatheringofnations.com. And to learn more about the museum project, you can visit NavajoCodeTalkers.org. The Coeur d'Alene tribe in Idaho has launched a campaign to bring legendary singer Mildred Bailey and her heritage into the spotlight. Mildred Bailey was one of the top-selling artists in Depression-era jazz. who cleared the way for female jazz greats like Billie Holiday and Ella Fitzgerald. Known as the Rockin' Chair Lady and Mrs. Swing, her #1 hits were Please Be Kind, Darn That Dream, Rocking Chair, and Says My Heart. Less well known is the fact that she was Native American. To most audiences, Bailey looked white, but her mother was Coeur d'Alene, and she spent her early years on the family's farm on the Coeur d'Alene Reservation in Idaho. The tribe was pushing to have Bailey inducted into the Lincoln Center's Jazz Hall of Fame. They're hoping the resolution now moving through the Idaho House will help achieve that goal. Early on in Hollywood, Bailey helped an aspiring male singer she knew from back in Spokane. That singer is now known as Bing Crosby. Red Nation Celebration is now seeking film and video entries for the 9th annual Red Nation Film Festival to be held November 1st through the 7th in Los Angeles and Beverly Hills, California. Films eligible for this festival should be of or about North American Indians, Canadian First Nations, or international Indigenous people, and produced in 2011 and 2012. Entry deadline is August 1st. For more information, you can visit rednationfilmfestival.com. Throughout this year, the Minnesota Historical Society will offer many new ways to learn about the U.S. Dakota War of 1862, how it shaped the state and the upper Midwest, and how its bitter consequences are still felt today. With these new initiatives, funded in part by the Minnesota's Clean Water, Land, and Legacy Amendment, the Society intends to encourage discussion and reflection about the war, its causes, and aftermath. Initiatives include Minnesota Tragedy, the U.S. Dakota War of 1862 exhibit, opening in June 30th, an interactive website which will tell stories of the war and the aftermath through oral history, photos, journals, letters, newspapers, government documents, and other primary sources. Oral History Project, where Society staff members are recording dozens of oral histories from Dakota elders and settler descendants, and a Minnesota River Valley Scenic Byway Mobile History Tour, which will be in May. You will be able to hear multi-perspectives and stories told by descendants of those touched by the war in this media-rich cell phone tour of significant places along the Minnesota River Valley. For more information on this initiative, you can visit usdakotawar.org. Out of popular demand from fans across the country, Menominee musician Wade Fernandez has released a new version of Still Standing Proud, a song he wrote 10 years ago. Most of the footage and photos in the video he took on the Menominee Reservation. There are also of other tribal nations represented in the video to show that this is an intertribal and universal message of hope, survival, and perseverance despite the history of hardships and struggle. For more information on this amazing Menominee musician, you can visit wadefernandez.com. And that's another roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. I'd like to thank you for joining me, and have a grand day.